ABC of Home Improvement is here today to have a talk show, have people call in and understand that whatever questions come up, we'll be happy to work with them. Lee's an architect. I'm a kitchen cabinet supplier. And Earl, what are you doing, Earl?
Well, a little bit of everything and master of none.
Back to where we were before with our project. I mean, that's important also. We've now selected an addition. We've now selected a new kitchen being put in. We've talked about a budget, which is the most important thing, to be able to anticipate what your thoughts are, and with a budget to be able to expand on that to see if you would like to do anything else. Once that's basically underway, then it's a matter of working directly with the contractor or the architect who's running the particular project to be able to get the day-to-days. And someone has to be available day-to-day in case of, ongoing incidents, I'll call it at this point. You have to be able to prepare yourself where you're going to have dinner with the kids. You've got to be responsible for the animals. You've got to really be aware that a project of this nature is a 24-hour project because it's your house.
Right. Mike, and they have to understand, too, the preparation work. So you get all the prep out of the way, and now you're ready to start demolishing the house. This is the best part for the contractor, but the most unnerving, right, for the homeowner to see your investment being taken apart, disassembled.
It's also amazing how fast that takes place. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
Right. All of a sudden, there's a mess. There's a mess, and people want to know what's going to happen next, Mike. Right?
It's like that in every project, though. Taking down something, removing something goes very quick. Starting to get the craftsmen involved and the details and the technicians and all the details required to do a project of that nature takes time. And then if you know ahead of time where you're going to be in week 2, week 4, week 5.
How important is that schedule, Mike? A lot of contractors do not use a schedule. This is why, when we pick out American Design and Build, who's been in this business for 20 years, okay, if you give them a call, when that project is scheduled, you will know on a weekly basis by a job log what is happening, what is going to happen, if there is a delay, if the schedule is changing, if the budget is changing.
You got to call the people on good times. If there's a problem, bad times, I call those the bad times. You got to keep everyone abreast of what's happening. There's also what I call a cheat sheet, where the customer can leave out her questions that she has on her mind.
We see those a lot, don't we?
Yeah. So every time they make little notes in the evening on their night table and they transfer it over to that, what I call that master sheet that they create. Right. And every time the project gets a little further down the road and we start to see them scratch out that particular line, then you get a feeling that they're actually seeing the project moving along as projected.
There's some accomplishment. They do see progress.
Well, that's how projects are. If you work with professionals, it really makes life easier.
Yeah, maybe we can put it a little differently here and give us a shout, 651-1110, if you've had any experiences that have not been good with a general contractor. We here with American Design and Build offer a project manager or a construction management team, a construction manager, who is going to be somebody who is going to be available on a daily basis, who is a licensed professional and is able to carry out these projects from start to finish with a very good reputation. We do find that there are a lot of small companies out there that do not follow certain standards and guidelines, which equates to the homeowner later on paying more dollars at the back end. So if you've had any sort of an experience like that and you can enlighten our listeners out there, perhaps give us a call on that as well.
I think also what we should do is let people know that not just the large kitchen projects, besides we'll be happy to do, but also a replacement window, a deck may be going on.
Basements, Earl.
Billy knows it's enough situations happening, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, so the billing part is the least of our problems, you know what I'm saying? The point is to be able to satisfy each and all those needs that do come up.
Well, let's go into, the idea of, why do you need a design in the first place for, so let's say a kitchen layout, instead of just, the architect will lay out a schematic plan or so forth. And we will see if the plan meets the requirements of the homeowner. But most of the times they have to come into a specialist to lay out the kitchen and get every square inch, accounted for and make it usable. So, Mike, functionality in the kitchen, designer versus, an architect trying to lay out the kitchen.
Well, designers do nothing but that, you know what I'm saying? I've been in the kitchen for over 30 years. Oh, Rich saying we're getting a phone call.
Okay, Mike.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is a little bit off the subject, but I was wondering whether installing a water heater is something that someone could do on their own, or is it something that should only be done by a professional plumber? I know this is off topic, but
off topic's okay. That's okay. That's a legitimate question.
Are you a homeowner?
Yes.
And you're thinking about fixing your leaky Hot water heater?
It's going. It's been flooding the area of my basement, and the last time I had a plumber install it cost me just about $1,000.
Yeah.
And I was wondering whether, perhaps with the help of friends who are good handymen, it's a job that someone could do himself, or is it something that you would advise a homeowner to stay away from?
Both. And I'm going to tell you why. If you can afford to have a professional come in there, absolutely go and do it. But if you can't afford, if you're that tight, then maybe you can go take a Polaroid of it, so that when you take the hacksaw and you cut out the pipes going to it and disconnect the wires going to it, you can put it back together the right way.
Right. You're playing with gas and combustibles here, so.
Right. So you should have
Little
but if you
caution.
can't, if you absolutely can't afford it, you could do it on your home. We don't recommend it. We'd like to see you to call a professional, plumber, electrician, have a plumber come in there and do it.
Right, because then you'll also get a warranty from the professional, whereas if you sweat a fitting together and put those pipes back and you have a leak up on top and it leaks down into the system, now your system is not going to work and you might void the warranty on the unit.
I guess it's not that I can't afford it, but I was just trying to save money. But I appreciate your advice.
Excellent call.
The gas too.
Well,
Thank you
for
very
calling
much.
us.
Okay, Mike, that was interesting.
That was really good. Back to that design question that we were working on ourselves here. I myself have been doing kitchens for over 30 years, so designing is something I'm accustomed to. I have all the software on the computer, which enables me to create the design and then at the end be able to take a hard copy and show the client how it's actually her new kitchen's going to look.
And 3 dimensions. This is all 3-dimensional. Right?
Exactly. It's all 3D, Lee. And at that point where they have maybe a straight wall or a couple of spots in the kitchen where the appliances and the cabinets are currently, as compared to the new layout, they can now see how the new kitchen will look. And that's pretty amazing because they never had a chance to see that before at all.
Right. The 3D technology has come a long way in the last few years, allowing you not only to select a style and a cabinet detail, but also then to put into it the textures and the colors so you can actually see a full rendering of the kitchen that you're going to receive and modify it before it gets installed or before you order.
You know what else is interesting, too? Today, things have changed dramatically from the older days. I say 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Appliances have been upgraded dramatically. We now do hoods over the professional stoves in such a professional-looking way that people are amazed that they can actually have that in their own homes.
Exactly.
So basically, with knowing a budget, back to that same word budget, you can then do an awful lot of things. It doesn't always have to be the most expensive. It can be available today because today's market is geared towards supply and demand. If maple is a major product and people want maple cabinets, it's going to be available at all price ranges. If you want cherry, that'll also be available in all price ranges. So the budget will create that type of look besides the design after it's done too.
Now, Mike, does that cost the homeowner money to come to you and create these designs? Is there a fee service like other designers charge a fee?
I think once they're working with their contractor at that point, or if that's all they're doing is just a change of the cabinets and they want to get involved, even like with the last customer himself, he wants to do something and they have an idea, I'll be happy to work with serious people at that point too.
Excellent. Earl, you have anything to add about that design process there on the kitchen cabinets or anything?
I don't know. I think you guys covered it well.
Okay,
what I'd
so-
like
so-
to do is
Yeah.
get a quick overview. Let's just slow it down a little bit.
Go ahead.
And you give a quick overview of the program and how it's going to work each week. We'll start out with our, what do you start off with? You start off with a plan.
Right, exactly. So, we can go right back to where we were after we've, collected all our information and set up the design process. But, call in the design professional. And the design professional is set up to save you some money. Essentially, you're going to be paying him a fee to help you design your project, but he will also help you stay within your budget as long as you're honest with the budget. He should be able to keep your construction costs and so forth in line. So if you are out there and you are thinking about a project, the next step would obviously be to pick up the phone book or call, myself at Arca Future, 845-351-2600, a fully, design and development firm that can help you out with any scale project from basements right on to 3,000 or 4,000 square foot additions. And we've been doing this for 20 years, and we have a very good track record, and we really enjoy meeting with new people and coming up with new ideas for new projects. And the investment in the design will always save you on the construction. So you have to, you look at it as that the fee will actually be saving you a large percentage in construction costs because the design will then reflect, new and modern materials, new timbers, new spans, longer spans, and he will be able to spend your dollar and stretch your dollar in the construction phase a lot better than if you went out and worked directly with the builder.